Imagine a world where, I don't know, every single silk thread, every grain of rice is tangled up in this huge web of power, corruption, even personal sacrifice.
Yeah, where a simple act like giving a wedding gift suddenly reveals someone's true character.
Exactly. Or a chat about poetry is actually masking this deadly political game.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're plunging into, well, a really rich tapestry of stories from the Ming Dynasty.
We're pulling from chapters 19, 20, and 21 of Whispers of the Heart, an anthology of love's echoes.
Right. And our mission for this deep dive is really to pull out the most compelling bits from these chapters. We're looking at two main threads, basically.
First, the really personal struggles of everyday folks caught up in the political tides.
And second, the high-stakes chess match being played by the most powerful people in the empire.
You'll get some surprising details, I think, about soldiers' lives, how the imperial court actually worked.
And that constant clash, between doing what's right and doing what's practical.
What's really fascinating, for me anyway, is how these stories, which seem so different at first, they all connect.
Yeah.
They really reveal the human cost of power, but also, maybe surprisingly, the resilience of people.
Okay, let's dig in then.
Let's do it.
So we start with this really intriguing look at the Ming Dynasty's military system, the Waisuo system.
Mm-hmm. The military colony system.
And it's not like soldiers just moving around all the time. These were called iron camps.
Right, fixed barracks, sometimes even like proper city walls. You see this in Tianjin Weihai, Taisu.
Yeah. And the really interesting part is that the military families lived there permanently.
Yeah, generation after generation. They married there, had kids, passed down their military status. It wasn't just a posting.
So it creates this really stable, self-sufficient force almost.
It does, but it also creates a very distinct social structure, a kind of hereditary military class, really. They weren't just passing through, they were part of the place.
And the sources then, they zoom right into one of these camps. We get these domestic scenes, family life.
But then it contrasts sharply with Kidazu's unit, which is all single soldiers.
Right. And Kidazu himself is in this, let's say, tense situation. He's living with this woman he rescued.
But he insists they aren't married. He even sleeps outside, apparently.
Yeah, trying to protect her clean name, he says. He wants to send her away.
But she won't go. She just keeps bringing him food, telling him to come home and eat. There's this real palpable tension there.
And then, wow, the revelation.
It's pretty shocking. She finally shows him this faint scar on her face.
And tells him.
She cut herself, deliberately. To avoid being violated by the pirate leader, this guy Inui Juzaburo.
So the other pirates wouldn't touch her.
Exactly. It's this act of self-mutilation, but it's also about reclaiming some kind of agency, defining her own honor in that horrific situation. It's powerful.
And Kidazu's reaction is just immediate.
Instant belief. No hesitation.
He decides right then and there to marry her. Publicly carries her to the bed.
And the detail about the soldiers betting on whether they'd,
consummate the relationship that night.
Right. And Kidazu shouting out, "Those who bet on us sleeping together won."
It's such a human moment, isn't it? Amidst all the harshness, what does that public declaration tell you?
Oh, it speaks volumes. It's about his respect for her, his integrity. He's affirming her honor publicly, turning something potentially shameful into, a celebration.
Defying the brutality they faced.
Totally. And defying the expected social norms, too. Her past, quote-unquote, would normally mean disgrace. He just throws that out.
Then the story shifts, and we get this encounter between Hairui, the official, and Kidazu.
Yeah, Hairui's just come from this intense meeting with Hu Zongxian, a very powerful figure we'll talk about more.
And he visits Kidazu's camp. The woman, now Kidazu's wife, brings out wine and peanuts.
Simple hospitality, bought with Kidazu's tiny army pay, and he calls her good wife.
Sweet. Then Hairui wants to give them a wedding gift.
But realizes he has no money on him. Zero.
So he has to borrow 2 strings of copper coins from Kidazu, the guy he wants to give a gift to.
And then other soldiers, the ones Hairui also helped rescue, they start offering their money to Hairui.
Acknowledging him as their benefactor.
It's quite a moment. Hairui takes just 1 string of coins, gives it to the woman for cloth, and promises to pay Kidazu back later.
And Kidazu is apparently moved to tears. The woman kowtows 3 times.
It really underscores Hairui's character, doesn't it? His humility.
Absolutely. How rare was an official like that back then?
Exceptionally rare. The Ming court wasn't exactly known for humility among its high officials. Corruption was pretty rampant.
So this small act, borrowing from a soldier to help that soldier.
It's a potent symbol. It shows principle over status, and it clearly inspires real loyalty, real affection. It's the kind of leadership that was sorely lacking.
Okay, so from that sort of quiet humility, we pivot to the imperial court, high-stakes stuff.
Right, Hairui goes to deliver military supplies, but he's really there to see Hu Zongxian. He has 3 big questions for him.
But Hu Zongxian doesn't give straight answers. Instead, he starts quoting Tang poetry.
Yeah, Gao Shi, Chen Can, using these old poems about fishermen and serving the king. It's all metaphors.
A way to talk about official life and service without actually saying much directly.
Exactly. It's not just evasion, though. It's like a masterclass in political communication for that era, using ambiguity strategically.
And controlling the narrative.
Pretty much. Hairui first thinks he's just being slippery.
Understandable.
But then, through Hu Zongxian's tone, his sort of weary look, Hairui senses something else. A shared understanding, maybe? It makes him rethink.
And the answers, or non-answers, to the 3 questions.
Fascinating. Question 1. Shen Yixi's property sale. Was it forced? Who says it wasn't his intention? But that's it. No more details.
Okay, question 2.
The executions related to the river dike collapse. Were they justified? Who just refers to the formal legal process, basically saying, it's out of my hands now.
Dodging again. And the 3rd, Kidazu's wrongful conviction.
Who says a wrongful conviction should naturally be overturned. But he doesn't explain why he intervened or why the deeper investigation stalled.
So what's the takeaway from this whole exchange, this careful dance?
It implies Hu Zongxian, while maybe having some sense of justice, is ultimately a pragmatist. He's stuck in the political machine.
Answering directly could implicate powerful people, maybe even himself.
That seems to be the suggestion. He's protecting the court's delicate balance. It shows how truth often took a backseat to political stability, you know?
Right. And then the drama really ramps up with an imperial decree.
Yes, an urgent one about corruption. And it's got this weird contrast.
How so?
The emperor talks about being incredibly frugal, only 8 sets of robes for the seasons, that kind of thing.
Okay.
While at the same time condemning massive corruption, especially in the Silk Bureau. He orders investigations, eunuchs, officials, and specifically orders the arrest of Yang Jinsui.
Yang Jinsui from the Silk Bureau.
The very same.
Yeah.
Now, the official overseeing the trial, Zhao Zhenji, he reads this decree and is visibly shaken.
He realizes he's in the middle of a political storm.
Instantly. And the Jinyu Wei, the secret police, are right there telling him, whatever you do, don't implicate the palace, don't implicate the emperor.
High stakes indeed. But Hairui sees it differently.
Completely. He takes it as the emperor backing his tough stance on corruption.
So when the accused officials, Zhang Bishang and He Maokai, try to deflect blame onto the palace,
Hairui just doesn't budge. He pushes He Maokai about the Xinyan River Dike breach, the one that killed thousands.
He Maokai tries to blame Yang Jinsui, higher orders.
But Hairui keeps pressing, and then, get this, the scribe, the guy taking notes, gets terrified and refuses to write down He Maokai's statements implicating powerful figures.
So what happens?
Hairui demands the pen and ink and writes the testimony down himself.
Wow. Just takes over.
It's a huge moment. It shows his absolute belief in transparency and truth no matter who gets implicated. He's not scared.
While Zhao Zhenji is clearly struggling.
Oh, definitely. There's this odd detail where he orders the noisy crow's nests in his courtyard destroyed, just lashing out, trying to control something.
A symbolic act.
Seems like it, because later he orders them rebuilt and even helps do it himself. It's like watching his internal conflict play out, trying to find some impossible middle ground.
And does He Maokai finally confess everything?
Yes. He confesses that Yan Shifan, that's Yan Song's son, a major figure, ordered the dike breach, and that Yang Jinsui knew and agreed.
Directly implicating the Yan faction. That's huge.
Massive. But then Zhao Zhenji, Tan Lin, the Jinyue, they all pressure Hairui to, let's say, edit the confession.
Sanitize it.
Yeah.
Remove the parts about Yan Shifan. Protect the emperor's reputation.
Exactly. But Hairui absolutely refuses, vehemently. He insists on submitting the original unedited confession.
Citing imperial law.
And has that amazing line, "A mad dog barks at the sun. I don't know why you all have so many taboos."
He's not just after justice in this one case, is he?
No, he's taking on the whole corrupt system, head on.
And that challenge, of course, sends ripples right into the palace.
Big ripples. Starting with Yang Jinsui, the eunuch from the Silk Bureau who's just been ordered arrested.
What's happened with him?
He's basically descending into madness. The sources paint this picture, half white hair, wild eyes, seeing ghosts.
Yikes.
His own eunuchs are just fed up, resentful, exhausted by his behavior.
So when Zhao Zhenji and the Jin Yue arrive with the decree,
They find Yang Jinsui in a complete state, apparently quite unhygienic, clinging to Zhao Zhenji, ranting about being targeted.
how do they handle him?
The Jin Yue are described as precise but gentle. They take him into custody.
And that decree, again, the emperor's supposed frugality versus the reality of corruption, Yang's arrest, Zhao Zhenji and Tianlin put in charge.
And that immediate warning from the Jin Yue: don't drag the palace or the emperor into this.
Setting the stage for some serious court maneuvering.
Absolutely. Which brings us to Lu Feng, the head eunuch, the director of ceremonial. He makes a really risky move.
Okay, what's the setup?
Emperor Jijing has these peculiar daily rituals, like a morning foot bath.
A foot bath.
Yeah, using a brand new, unvarnished pine wood basin every single time because he liked the fresh scent. They'd just discard it after one use.
Hello.
And during this ritual, his godson, a eunuch named Yellow Brocade, Huang Jin, has this sort of informal access to him.
A privileged position.
Very. So during the foot bath, Jijing asks about Hangzhou, where all this trial stuff is happening,
And Huangin?
hesitates, then reveals that 2 confessions are being, quote, sorted by another eunuch, Chen Hong,
Jiajing immediately demands to see them.
which puts Lu Feng, Huang Jin's godfather, and the top eunuch in a very tight spot because he knows how explosive Hai Rui's confession is.
So what does Lu Feng do?
Preemptive strike. Before Jijing sees the confessions, Lu Feng secretly takes the most damaging one, Hai Rui's, to a private meeting.
With who?
With Yansong, the super powerful Grand Secretary, and Zhu Ji, the second Grand Secretary, the top 2 officials, essentially.
Okay, that's bold.
And then there's this symbolic wine ceremony. Lu Feng pours a full cup for Yansong, half for Zhu Ji, half for himself.
Right.
Then he pours his own half into Zhu Ji's cup, making it full.
Symbolizing.
That Xu Zhe and Yansong need to join forces. They need to share the emperor's wine, basically, to protect the emperor and stabilize things.
Wow. Forcing an alliance between rivals.
Exactly. He appeals to them for the sake of the emperor, the dynasty. He even makes them drink the symbolic wine together and tells them to stay isolated, avoid stirring up more trouble.
It really shows the complex web of alliances and rivalries, doesn't it? It's not just right versus wrong.
Not at all. It's about maintaining that incredibly delicate balance of power.
But the emperor, he's not easily fooled, is he?
Not Jiajing. He summons Chen Hong, another of Lu Feng's godsons.
The one sorting the confessions.
Right. Jijing's mood is described as chilling. Chen Hong actually pinches his own lip to draw blood, to look more distressed and scared.
Seriously?
Yeah. Then he confesses that Lu Feng hid the confessions and took them to Yansong and Xu Ji.
And Jijing's reaction.
Furious, he says the 3 have banded together to deceive us, using the royal we.
So Chen Hong is in trouble for betraying Lu Feng.
But here's the twist. Jing doesn't punish Chen Hong. Instead, he tells Chen Hong to keep following Lu Feng's instructions, but to keep this conversation completely secret.
Turning Chen Hong into his own secret informant against Lu Feng.
Precisely. Setting up Lu Feng's downfall while keeping his own hands clean. It's masterful manipulation.
So what happens to Lu Feng?
When Lu Feng returns, Jiajing gives him a new assignment. Supervise the construction of the emperor's own mausoleum, the Youngling tomb.
A promotion?
No, it sounds important, but it's effectively banishment. Polite banishment, but it removes him completely from the center of power.
Wow, just like that.
And Jijing doesn't waste a second. He immediately summons Chen Hong again and issues a flurry of edicts.
What are they?
1, Yansong is to stay home claiming sickness, sidelined.
Okay.
2, Xu Ji is to move into the main cabinet office and live there, basically making him the acting chief minister.
Big promotion for Shuji.
Huge. 3, Chen Hong himself is to provisionally hold the imperial seal. He becomes the acting head of the Directorate of Ceremonial.
The most powerful eunuch position, the one Lu Feng just lost.
Exactly. 4, Yang Jinsui's transport to the capital is sped up. They have half a month.
Bringing the evidence closer.
And 5, Jijing himself announces he's entering seclusion for half a month until Yang Jinsui arrives.
So in like a single day, the entire power structure is flipped upside down.
Dramatically. It's like watching Game of Thrones, Ming Dynasty edition. Jijing used the crisis to break old power blocks and elevate new people, all while maintaining plausible deniability.
But this sudden shift must cause chaos.
It does. The whole court machinery just grinds to a halt. Nobody's sure what to do, who's really in charge day to day.
And the crown prince, Yuang, how's he taking this?
He's apparently a wreck. deeply anxious, pacing constantly, feeling totally isolated and pessimistic about his future.
Understandable, I guess.
But his consort, Li Fei, shows surprising wisdom.
Really?
Yeah, she calms him down. She advises him to act like a latent dragon, from the I Ching.
Quan Long Wei Yang,
Yeah.
a hidden dragon, biding its time.
Exactly. Remain calm, wait. She argues, pretty shrewdly, that all the Emperor's moves, getting rid of Lu Feng, sidelining Yansong, promoting Shu Ji, are actually meant to protect Yu Wang and the dynasty in the long run.
Interesting perspective.
She even says Hai Rui's radical stuff is just honest officials handling corrupt ones, nothing that will ruin the state. And she sends her own trusted eunuch, Feng Bao, to keep an eye on Yansong's residence.
It shows how even those seemingly private, personal relationships can influence the empire's fate.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, out at the literal gates of power, things are tense.
What's happening there?
Yansong's son, Yan Shifan, tries to see his father, but he's blocked. Yansong is just supervising the drying of books in his courtyard, ignoring everything.
Wow, okay.
Then Yan Shifan and some other officials try to get into the cabinet office where Shu Ji is now installed.
But
the gate is guarded by this formidable eunuch, Shi Gongong, acting on Chen Hong's new orders.
Chen Hong, the newly powerful eunuch.
Right, it's the new rule. All documents submitted at the gate. Officials wait outside. No direct access.
A clear power shift.
Definitely. But then Gao Gong and Zhang Juzhang arrive. They're important officials, too.
And Zhang Juzhang finds a loophole.
Sort of. He uses critical military reports, urgent stuff about pirates in Zhejiang. Tatar raids up north to argue for a face-to-face consultation, an exception to the rule.
Makes sense? Military urgency.
And Gao Gong, surprisingly, backs him up on getting in, stressing the urgency, even while Gao Gong himself follows the new rule and leaves his documents at the gate.
A tactical alliance there, maybe.
Seems like it. So Zhang Juzhang gets inside to see Zhu Ji.
And just reports on the military stuff.
He reports verbally on the military matters, yes. But at the same time, he's secretly writing hidden messages on a piece of paper.
Ah, the real reason he wanted in.
Looks like it. He writes about Hai Rui's confessions, the damning stuff about Yan Shifan and Yang Jinsui. He asks Yu Ji if the recent power shifts are related and urges him to show Hai Rui's confessions to the emperor.
And Zhu Ji's response, also coded.
Very. He draws a big check mark, a kick on Zhang's hidden note, acknowledging it, basically. But later, when Zhang suggests pushing harder, maybe confiscating corrupt officials' wealth, or using Hai Rui's confession directly, Zhu Ji draws a big X over that part.
An X, meaning no.
Meaning no, not now. It signals Yu Ji's strategy. Cautious, long-term. Prioritize stability over immediate, potentially explosive revelations. He sees the truth, but knows using it bluntly could cause more chaos.
A different approach from Hai Rui for sure.
Very different. But then Zhang Juzhang asks a crucial question. Can the Ministry of War say their orders are by instruction of the cabinet?
Taking direction from Yu Ji, essentially.
Yes, and Zhu Ji's answer is a clear yes.
That's significant. Shu Ji is accepting the mantle of authority.
Absolutely. He's ready to shoulder the responsibility, and while this is happening, Chen Hong is busy consolidating his own new power.
The acting head eunuch, what's he doing?
Wasting no time. He punishes another eunuch, harshly sends him to the lowest laundry service just for using an honorific second ancestor, which implied Lu Feng was the old ancestor.
Setting new rules about language and loyalty.
Instantly. He promotes someone who used the neutral term ancestor instead, and then forbids anyone from using old ancestor for Lu Feng, implicitly reserving it for actual imperial ancestors under threat of being banished to Yangling, where Lu Feng now is.
Wow. Clear message.
Iron Fist. But then Velvet Glove. He promotes all the eunuchs by one rank.
Solidifying control, rewarding loyalty. Smart move.
Very. And he doesn't just sit back. He goes personally to the cabinet office to help Shu Ji approve documents, getting directly involved in governing.
So he's not just a placeholder, he's actively taking charge.
Absolutely. This section really hammers home how fast power can shift and consolidate, and how even tiny things like how you address someone have huge weight in that system.
So we really covered a lot of ground. We went from a military camp dealing with personal honor, love, duty.
Right, through that intense courtroom battle where Hai Rui just refused to back down on truth.
And then deep into the palace itself, watching this incredible dance of power, deception, survival.
Yeah, seeing how one decision by the emperor, seemingly small sometimes, just ripples out and changes everything for everyone.
It really shows that history isn't simple, is it? It's this complex mix of human feelings, political games, and the unpredictable way truth comes out. or doesn't.
Hmm. And beneath those big stories of power shifts, there are always these compelling individual lives, these unseen forces at play.
So maybe a final thought for people to consider. In a system like that, where loyalty and just getting by often seem more important than the actual truth,
Yeah.
what does it really take for someone like Hairui to stand firm on principle, knowing it could bring the whole structure crashing down?
That's a great question. And maybe the flip side is, how does that ability to use subtle influence to adapt, like Lu Fang tried to do, or like Zhuji is clearly doing, how does that become the ultimate form of power when everything's in crisis? Which approach actually works in the end?